I'm Stephanie Hoffman, and on this episode of Metal America, we're in Batavia, Ohio at Claremont Steel Fabricators, and we're about to build some roller coasters. I'm Stephanie Hoffman, and I've been in the welding industry for more than 20 years, working as a welder, fabricator, instructor, and now with the American Welding Society. Where I get to travel the country meeting people who are building incredible things while introducing the next generation to careers in welding and metal fabrication. So I'm here with Dan today. Dan is the Vice President of Claremont Steel Fabricators. Dan, what are we going to be looking at today?
We're going to look at roller coasters, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of fabrication, plate processing, and welding.
That's awesome. So roller coasters.
Yeah.
How did this company get into making roller coasters? That's pretty unique.
About 25 years ago, we were manufacturing pipe columns for a coaster firm, and B&M saw the quality that we were producing for this other guy and approached us and asked if we wanted to start manufacturing track here in the U.S.
Okay.
That's how it all started. So that was 25 years ago today.
Okay, that's awesome. So we're going to get to see the tracks being built from start to finish?
Some of it.
Okay.
Not all of it.
All right, so what are we going to look at first?
Actually, we're going to look at some plasma cutting. So our operator's got some 1.5-inch 836 up on the table, and we're going to cut some base plates out of that.
Okay.
For a coaster project. You can see a little stack here. He's going to finish up that job, and we'll see what happens there.
All right, so these are for the base plates for the coaster track.
Yes, exactly. So we got a stack of base plates. It's mild steel, but it's not your regular mild steel. This is UT tested, 100% at the mill.
Oh, wow.
There's also a Z test performed to it to make sure it's ductile and it doesn't fracture. So actually, this is base plates for columns for a job they're working on currently.
Okay.
And
what's up with this? Is that like from piercing or?
No, it's not piercing. That's intentional. That's an intentional mark. So when we set these columns in the field, that's a location mark, so they're oriented correctly in the field.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you say this material is looked at for its ductility, why does a base plate, why are you looking for that in the base plate? Or is that just common throughout everything that has to do with roller coasters?
Roller coasters is very important, but base plates, when they're bolted down to the anchor bolts in the field, they don't want that base plate fracturing.
Okay.
They want to be ductile and not fracture. So that's what we form.
So it's kind of unique to this piece.
Very unique. Very
unique.
unique. Yep.
Cool. So what are we going to see next?
We'll take a look at some forming down here.
All right. So Dan, you brought me over to an enormous brake.
Yeah.
What happens to roller coaster parts in this giant brake?
Well, we use this thing all day, every day. I got a 500-ton press brake. So a roller coaster, it's got all kinds of twists and turns in it. This allows us to just bend the plate just a little bit at a time to develop that twist in the track. So you can have a really twisted up track or like an out and back, just a little bit of twist, but that's we might bend it 1/2 degree, 1 degree, 2 degrees, and that machine takes care of that for us.
So you're using a press brake to put a roll in your plate, which for somebody like me, it sounds a little strange. Like, why wouldn't you just use a roller instead?
Well, the box beam design that we use has internal diaphragms that need to head at certain locations.
Okay.
So if we put a roll in there, we could not put those internal stiffeners in.
I got you. All right. So once he's done bending this up, what's the next step in this process?
We go over to Fab.
All right, let's go check it out. So now we're at the actual assembly of what was being formed over there.
What?
This guy's got some big hammers and it looks like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. So yeah, we got to look at the press brake. We saw those plates being formed. Now we're putting all those four plates together.
Okay.
And that's what we're right on right now.
So what process is he using over here?
He's tack welding right now.
Okay.
So once he's done building that box, it's going to go onto the welders. They're going to grind those tacks out, all those tacks out, and they're going to get down to bare metal and then weld those corners.
How thick is this material?
This is 1/2 inch, and yeah, this box is all 1/2 inch. So we build boxes 3/8 up to 3/4 inch.
When he's doing this, is it super critical that he's constantly checking measurements?
He's checking all the time.
Okay. All right, so once he's finished up with this, where does it go next?
Going on the weld.
Okay. And I mean, it's a pretty big piece and it's squared, so you would think that like flexing wouldn't happen that much, but I guess when you have to put so much weld material down that it can happen.
You got a lot of heat going on those corners. So we just finished welding the corners. We're moving down here and then finish up some special assemblies. So you see we have the flanges, and we have what's called rail supports.
Okay.
So those are positioned where they need to be. Our operator right here is drilling some holes in some of those rail supports for some safety netting that's going to be applied in the field.
Oh, okay.
And then from here we're going to go do some more assembly and some more welding, a lot of welding.
So the rails go like with the track basically for the roller coaster.
Exactly. This is half of a section of track.
Okay.
And we're going to weld 2 pieces together to make one final section of track. And once we're done with that, then we'll apply that rail pipe all the way down the length of that section.
Wow. All right. Let's go check that out then. We just saw now are kind of put together here. Is that what's happened?
Yeah, those 2 halves are now joined end to end. That's a full penetration weld that he's welding up there right now.
And what welding process is he using?
Flux core, that's 16th wire flux core dual shield.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many passes about per joint are they doing?
Depending on thickness of plate, it could be 4 to 8 passes.
That's a lot of weld time on one
weld.
rail.
A lot of weld.
All right. So it's 100% tested, this thing, you said?
Absolutely. All the fillet welds and full penetration welds are mag tested, mag particle, but all the full penetration welds are also UT 100% and tested.
So are you hiring inspectors in-house or are they coming from other places?
We have 2 in-house inspectors that perform all over NDT. And you can imagine on a roller coaster, there's a lot of weld and it's a lot of NDT. Everything is 100% inspected here in-house. So we saw the welding end to end, that's done. We'll move on to the next station here, actually applying the rail. That's the running surface of the ride to the track itself.
Right.
And that pipe is some special pipe. It's German pipe, rolled in Italy. It's seamless pipe. It's a European grade that we apply to US steel. S355J2H is that type of pipe.
So all that stuff probably doesn't mean a lot to the people that are watching, but it's really incredible that this material, you can't even get it here in the United States, that it's so specialized, and you said it's seamless pipe.
It's seamless.
And that seam, I guess, could prevent, well, I guess that seam could actually cause problems down the line if it wasn't here cracking and things like that. Is that why you get the seamless?
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So once the rails are loaded on, are these things completed yet?
Not quite yet. Rails are welded on, we move down and we do a pre-fit. Everything in the shop is pre-fitted to the next piece. So when it gets out to the field, they bolt it together. There's no welding on site, there's no grinding on site.
So it's just like a bolt together system, basically.
Bolt together system.
That's incredible. And how do you get these things out the door?
We wheel them on a cart and push them out to the paint shop for paint.
And you do that here?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're gonna see that too?
Absolutely.
So the next step in this process, we're gonna go and see them kind of get prefab together.
Right.
All right, let's go check that out.
All right, let's do it.
time I think that this place can't get any cooler, you bring me to something that looks like, this looks like something out of like Jurassic Park. Like this is like a dinosaur spine or something. So this is the pieces that we just saw getting prefabbed up to make sure when they get to their final destination, they actually bolt up and lock together correctly.
Exactly. So this is another check we provide in the shop. We don't want any fitting or grinding in the field, so we'll bolt this piece up to that piece, all the way down to the end of the track. So the whole thing's pre-fitted here in our shop. Any final adjustments made, it goes out the paint from here.
What does this piece weigh by the time it goes out the door?
This piece, once the rails are gravel filled, it's going to be about.
You said the rails get gravel filled?
They do, absolutely.
Is that normal for roller coasters?
It is for B&M coasters. It helps deaden vibration, minimize the sound.
That's incredible. So these roller coasters that we're going to see at theme parks and stuff, we have no idea, but they're filled with all types of gravel and stuff.
That's right. That's right.
That's incredible. So when it leaves here, it weighs how much?
That's going to be about 30,000 pounds for that piece.
30,000 pounds, and these things are just driving down the highway.
That's it.
How many truckloads does it take to get to, by the time you're done with a roller coaster, how many truckloads is that?
This project here is about 60 truckloads of steel.
That's incredible. How much steel are you guys purchasing a year?
Well, we're processing about 10,000 tons of steel per year. That's beams, plate, channel, other structurals.
That's incredible.
A lot of steel.
All right, what's the next step in this process?
Well, after this, we're going out to paint.
You brought me to the paint shop now, so what's the process here with painting these things? It's got to be some really crazy industrial paint that you guys are using.
It is industrial paint. These are going to be up for years and years and years. We got to protect them from the elements and make them look nice in the park.
So what's the process?
Well, we take that bare steel, we stick it in our 70-foot blast room, and we blast down to bare metal and get a profile in the steel. That way the paint can stick to the steel.
Oh, wow.
So we blast, and then the first coat is going to be a zinc epoxy.
Okay.
That goes on, we sand it nice and smooth, and it goes on to paint. We use a 2-part urethane.
So the zinc epoxy, why a zinc epoxy? Is there a specific reason?
Yeah, zinc protects steel. It's going to keep it from rusting.
So like almost like a galvanizing.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
All right, so now the epoxy looks like it's just right over here.
Yeah, so epoxy zinc done, sanded. We're going to head over here to urethane.
So everything will be painted and ready to go out for delivery then, I guess?
Yeah, this is it. So with this painted urethane top coat, get a couple days of cure, and we'll put it on a truck, ship it to the park.
Do you guys have a truck here getting ready to go out?
We do.
Can we see what these trucks look like and what the rigging is?
Absolutely.
All right.
So, loaded onto a truck. This one's almost ready to go out. Driver coming here, he's going to hook up to the truck, to the trailer here. He's going to put some more straps on. That paint's got to be protected. You see all this bubble wrap on here?
Okay.
When that driver puts his straps on, everything's going to be bubble wrap protected because that is the finished coat.
It doesn't get covered or anything with a tarp?
It doesn't get covered by tarp. Nope. We just make sure all that paint is absolutely protected when it leaves here.
And you said how many loads for one roller coaster?
This one's about 60 loads.
That's incredible. And this is going from Ohio to where?
A top secret location.
A top secret location. So possibly somewhere on the West Coast, maybe.
We'll see it on the news.
All right. So we'll have to wait for whenever we see a fancy gray and red roller coaster on the news.
That's right.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for having me today. This was awesome. I learned a ton about how you guys build roller coasters. Thank you again so much. It was a blast.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Metal America.